Has there ever been anything in your life that has been something unexpected that you can't really put a finger on how this is good? That how like Lord, how are you? Or you may have questioned, and we said this in the podcast too. It's okay to question God as long as you don't question God.
Right.
Is there ever been anything that has caused you to ask the Lord, like, I really am unsure how this is good, but I'm trusting you in this moment?
Yeah. That would absolutely be my brother passing back in 2022, just out of nowhere. And I mean, the amount of questions, the amount of anger, and um, just sadness that kind of took a hold of me. Um, I didn't see any part of how that could be good or
Hmm.
how that could fall under Romans 8:28. I was like, this isn't good. Like, no part of this is good. Um, but with with everything that I know about the Lord, with everything I know about Jesus, um, I can truly sit here today and know that to be true. Like, everything does work together for His good. And in Thessalonians, it talks about, we're not supposed to grieve the same way the world grieves. We're not supposed to have the same sort of sadness over people that die. It talks about people that die on earth truly just fall asleep.
Hmm.
It's just a very brief period in the grand scheme of things. And I know before I know it, I'm going to see my brother again in heaven, and we'll be partying up there. And he's up there with the Lord now. And um, I think that's been it is the most defining part of my relationship with the Lord, having to walk through that trial and figure out for myself, what God's peace, what God's joy looks like through something like that. And I don't think I'll ever fully understand why that happened on this earth. And I've come to terms with that being okay.
Yeah.
Our understanding is not His understanding. Like, we're not supposed to fully grasp everything that's going on this earth. But one day when we're all together in heaven, everything's going to be all good. So to hold on to that hope and to know that we're not called to grieve the same way the world grieves, because, I can't imagine being someone who doesn't believe in the Lord
Yeah.
and having to walk through something like that. Like, it would be devastating.
Yeah.
And I think, there's one reason I was able to get through that, and one reason my family was able to get through that and are still continuing to walk through that today. And it's solely because of Jesus and His hope he offers us.
Yeah. Well, you're giving hope to someone out there who may be going through the same thing. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. But you mentioned joy, and I want to talk about that for a little bit. I'll never forget, Francis Chan did this demonstration of what our life looks like here on earth. And it's this giant long rope that's supposed to be eternity, has a red tip at the beginning that's like this long, which is like 100 years. And our little, you know, spot of football is like even
Mm-hmm.
smaller. And then your lifespan of, what, 80 plus years if you live like Moses or whatever. uh, but it's so minuscule on the grand scheme of life that, what we delve into is so important. And to have actual joy and not just seek these happiness moments, because happiness is circumstantial, but joy is eternal. So
Amen.
what is joy to Dawson Knox? Like, I guess describe that for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get my joy from knowing that heaven's coming.
Mm,
His kingdom, whether it comes to this earth, if Jesus returns to this earth before I die, or if I die before He comes back and I meet Him in heaven. I mean, that illustration of the rope, I mean, I have to constantly remind myself of that. Like, our life is a vapor. It's like when you're boiling water, you see the vapor for a split second, it's gone.
yeah.
Um, but what we do with our time here is very important. And I think to find your purpose, to seek the Lord through everything, to lean on Him is everything. And that joy can only come from knowing that you're secure in your salvation forever. Sometimes if you just, sit there and think about what forever looks like, it's kind of mind blowing. You're like, I can't even comprehend that. But knowing that on across the finish line of this life, there's something waiting for me that's greater than anything I could possibly wrap my head around. That's the only thing I believe that can bring you true joy. And I try to share that as much as I can. I got to get better with sharing that with other people. But I mean, that's just the truth for me. And that's what gives me hope.